back again. I thought what I'd do this time is try and show you how to fix something that didn't work out. I did this when I first started doing resin, and it was an okay bloom, but I'm not happy with it. Now it's just a piece been lying around, so I thought I might use it to show you how to fix something like this. So what we're going to do, excuse the squeak, what we're going to do is take some washi tape and just create designs on the top to cover this. And then when I've done that and shown you what I'm doing with the top, we'll let that dry for a few days. And then I'm going to top coat it in a dark colour, probably a black or maybe a dark green. So for a start, just got to work out what sort of washi tape you want and where you want the design. That'll go there. And then this can just go around. This has got a little bit of an edge, that's why I'm using this side. And then just cut that off. I'll trim it up after. Yeah, like that. And this one like this. Like that. Lay that flat. And then I thought we would go maybe, some of these just don't pull off straight. I'm recording. Sorry about that. So, where was I? I think we might do this one, but these are cheaper washi tapes from Temu. You can get really good ones from the washi tape shop. I don't think I've bought any from them. I'm pretty sure. I've got a couple of stands over there with washi tapes, but these are the cheap Temu ones. Now, with this, you could sort of go that way, and you're just making little segments. So you're going to cut along here and pull that off. This, yeah, it's pretty sharp. Goes along there, like that. And then this will come along here. I thought I actually had a few dodgy ones to show you, but my grandchildren have absconded with them all. This is the only one that I can find. So this will do. Just cut along there like that. Trim it up. Then I have this one, just very gently. Might go this way with this. And then we'll come, now we can either meet this one there, but I'm going to meet this one down here. Now the lady who inspired this for me is a lady called, I think her name's, her YouTube is Leah Dia Designs, and she makes some beautiful artwork. If you want to get on and look up her work. That, and then I might just put this one here. And I'll take this one down here. Like that. And then edge this off here. Like that. So it doesn't look great right at the moment, but that's okay, because what we're going to do next is use this Pebeo, I think that's how you say it, edging. It's not a cream, it's a tube, you'll see. I'm using the gold. It also comes in grey, black, a whole lot of colours. You can get them from Spotlight. That's Spotlight in Australia. I suppose if you're overseas, Hobby Lobby or Michael's or those sort of places would have them, because I'm pretty sure Dia Designs is in America, so you must be able to get them over there. Otherwise, maybe Amazon. Now, it comes out of the tube. Maybe I'll, just for the sake of ease, open this new one. And just wipe that. It's easing out. What you're going to do is run it along like that. Now, this is meant to be gold and it's not coming out gold. So I'm wondering, shouldn't have to squeeze these or shake them. That definitely does not look like gold. It's meant to come out a really bright gold. I'm going to wipe that off. Gold. Certainly not coming out gold at all. And yet it looks like gold there. Maybe it's just the lights. Well, let's go with it. I'm showing you how to fix something, not whether it's right. So we're going to go straight along here. And my movement down here is not as steady as some people might be able to do it. You do that. And that gives it an edging, because what we're going to do here is put glitter. Along there. So you're building a little wall. Don't stick your finger in it like that. Now, we could leave that like that, but I'm going to take that down here just to cover that join, and the same here just to cover that join, and the same here. And when that's dry, we're going to have to let that set now. And when that's dry, we'll come back and we will do another layer. We can't do the next step until that's dry. And according to this, if you can actually read it, it's an outliner for glass or metal. Allowed to dry for a minimum of 24 hours, then bake for 40 minutes at 160. We don't have to do that. That will make it, will let it withstand dishwashing after you bake it. We're not going to do that because we're going to put a mixture of glitter and a varnish in between each of those. And then when that's dry in a few days, we'll cover it with resin. So we have to wait now patiently for 24 hours for that to dry. I'll come back and do another lot. In the meantime, I will open a new one of these and see if it's coming out any more gold than that, which is really disappointing because that's more like a brown. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye. Well, I'm going to keep going with this because it hasn't been 24 hours, but it seems as though it may have set enough to do the next step. So what we're doing is we are mixing glitter with acrylic varnish. Now, I got these glitters from Resin, and I won't put the individual links in, but I will try and find the general link for Resin. They make beautiful glitters. So you put a small amount of liquid varnish in, and I did shake this before because this is a new bottle, and I just got this from our craft shop. Any varnish should set, and you're trying to make a bit of a paste. You don't want it too liquidy. It's probably way too much, so I'll put that in here. And then I'll start with this, and I'll get a spoon, a couple of spoons. Oh, this one here will do. You don't want to waste this, it's pretty expensive. And then just get a little stick and mix that around. You've got to be able to move it, so you don't want it gluey or gluggy, but you don't want it so that it'll run off either. That's going to take a lot more. It's starting to become a bit more like a paste now. And that's basically what you want. You want to be able to place it with a toothbrush, with a paintbrush, and have it sit there. And then when it dries, it should dry in place. So I think for this one, and I'm just using a small cheap paintbrush, because of the amount I've got, I might do this section here. And you just put it in place like this. It's going to be way more than I need, so I might use this in a couple of spots. And just basically place it like this. It's a very fine glitter, this one from Resin. You can just put a little bit like that. Just move it. And then this, because it's got the varnish in it, it acts like a glue. It dries clear. You can use, basically for this, you can use almost any varnish that is, or glue that dries clear. Varnish is easier, a lighter thing to work with. Just take it to the edge and it will just sit there like that. And that's why we built up these sections here, so that it stayed in its own little section. And flatten it down a little bit if you want. Like that. And then that's that section done, and you can come back. I just have a wet wipe. These are just baby wipes that are not scented at all. Turn it round here and just clean up this edge. that. So I'll just set that to one side. I've got plenty. I may come back and do this one. So the next one, I won't put so much. That might be enough. Might be enough of the varnish. Let's put the lid back on that. Wipe this. Put that one in here. This is a coarser. See how it's pasted up quite well. I'll put a little bit more in, not much. This is a really pretty one. I don't have a lot of this one, which is good. So I might put that one down in here. I think I've got enough for that. And I'll just move that down here. I've tried to pick glitter that sort of works in with the colour of the washi tapes that I've picked. You want everything covered in there. And just, you can see it doesn't take a lot. Just bring that down because you don't want it so full. Might even have a bit much there. I'll take some of that out. Take it to the edge like that. And just fill that last little bit in there. Just that last little bit there. And you want it quite full because when it does dry, if there's spaces you will see underneath. So, but you don't want to have it bulging everywhere. I'll wipe this down again and just clear up these edges. Like that. Okay, so that's that one. A little bit left, not much. Got to think of something to do with that. Thing with glitter, it goes everywhere, especially the fine stuff. So that's that one. Put the lid on. Grandchildren. Now, don't know whether I will use that. I'll use this one. Well, see now, that's what you've got to be careful of. You are working with liquid, and I was forgetting just how liquidy it was. So this time I think I might put this one in. These are all different shaped cuts of the glitter too. Okay. See, that looks, you can still see the white liquid of the acrylics there, and that greeny chameleon sort of holographic glitter has turned quite blue. But don't worry about that, because the clear will dry, the varnish will dry clear, and then you will see the true colour of the glitter again. Okay, now that might be enough to go in here, I think. I might put that in there. Just put the lid on that to contain it. Wiped that. Take that big chunk there off. It's a bit much. It looks a little like it might be a little overfull, but don't forget the varnish will dry clear. You don't want any spaces, so just try and spread it so it's flattened out, but it's covering everything like that. All right, I'll put that over there. Oops. Wipe this. Clear this up. Bring that around here. Contain this glitter before it ends up on the car. Oh, will I be in trouble? I shouldn't laugh. I probably will be in trouble. Once you get glitter everywhere, it's hard to get off. Look at that on my hands. All right, now I have 2 glitters to go and 2 spaces. I'm thinking that's really pretty, but it's not going to fit in with that at all. So I think we might forget that one. This one will fit in with the gold. I don't want to put, I'm thinking I might use this one again. I might put that gold there and then this one here. So what I'll do is I'll see if I have enough of this gold to go along here. I'll just wipe this. You go through a lot of baby wipes when you're doing resin. So I don't buy the expensive ones. Now I'll just put this along here. Just stretch that along here like this. And that'll sort of balance the gold on the other side. Now the only reason I'm going to back coat this underneath is so that you can't see the old pattern, the old bloom that was there. Those girls are going to get into such trouble for screaming. Oh, kids are kids. All right. Oh, excuse me. This to the edge, like that. Was a lot of that gold. Made way too much, and I can't make something else with it tonight because I need to help outside. My daughter-in-law's not well, so just clean this up along here. Like that. Clean this up here as well. Want it to the edge, but we don't want it going over the edge and looking sloppy. It's just a little bit down there that I don't want there. Because once this acrylic dries, it's like glue. Okay, now the last piece, I'll just put that down there. The last piece I've got to fill in is just this little bit here. So I think I'll do this, but it needs the tiniest amount. Probably just that. A little bit more. Smidge. A little bit more of that. Not that much. And that's probably enough. Yeah, put that up there. Yep, it's heaps. And it's chunkier glitter as well. Not as easy to spread. It's easy to spread if it's chunky glitter, but The finer glitters go into the spaces better. Okay, take that bit off there. Can go off there. Okay. Like that. Like that. That is from the baby wipe, so you don't want to squeeze too much on it. And that is the last bit. Now this really will have to probably sit for 4 or 5 days until it's totally dry. I've forgotten how long. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. But you can't put resin over that while it's got any moisture in it because it will go mouldy. So that will, I'll just lay these flat. And we'll let that dry. And that certainly looks a lot better. Now, this looks dull. These washi tapes look dull, but once you pour the resin over, it will really bring them up and shine beautifully. So I'm going to clean all this up, and I'm going to go and help my daughter-in-law and my son get the girls out of the bath. So thank you for joining me again, and I'll see you when this is dry for the next step. Bye. So I'm now going to back coat this side. I have this side, it's set. It's been set for about a week. I'm flipping it over, and what I've done is I've made a little dam around the edge very carefully. I'm hoping it's going to hold. I don't want to take it over the edge. I just want to take it to the edge, but this is just in case. I don't want it to go over onto this side. I've put it up onto a little jar so it's off the table. For this part I'm using Platinum 360 Plus because it sets up in about 4 hours, and it can be used for shallower depths. Now I'm going to be using resin pigment paste. I think I got this from Temu. If I can find the link, I will put it on. I haven't opened it yet. I'm also going to show you what happens if you don't mix pigment pasting properly. And I'm going to pour a little bit purposely unmixed or not completely mixed black resin and into one of these containers. Hopefully it won't set up properly, and then I'll show you that. I also outsmarted myself. I put some of this leftover mixture of the varnish and the glitter and put it into here thinking it might set up nice and solid. It didn't, so now I have all this glitter I've got to try and get out. So what I'm going to do is pour some black resin into each of these, and that should take out the glitter from the mold. So there's that as well. I'll just start my clock for the 5 minutes, and I will mix. Now just make sure that this is straight. And because I don't have a debubbler, I'm not going to whip it up like a mad woman's breakfast. I'll just stir it until that 5 minute clock is up. Just scraping the sides, scraping the bottom. Now this is step 2 of fixing something that you're not happy with. Step 1 was doing the other side, which is going to be the proper side, the right side. This is the back side. It's not going to be nice to look pretty on one side and then turn over and see your mistake here, or something you're not happy with. So I'm covering that with black resin. That's step 2. Step 3, when that's cured and just waited for a couple of days to really harden up, I will turn it over and then I'll put clear resin on the other side, and I will allow the resin. I'll take this side up then properly, and I'll show you how to do that, and then I'll let the resin flow over the edge of this, because it's got a very pretty edge. And then it'll look very different. I'll also show you how I dammed this up. I didn't just take painter's tape around the edge, otherwise that would stick to the resin and leave a sticky residue. I'll show you. Okay. Just torch it to get some of these surface bubbles off. And I'll take this off. That is going to be mixed. Right. Just wipe my hands. You can see how that's quite separated. So that will definitely need to be remixed. I'm going to pour a little bit of the big one into this small cup. I'm going to put that much, maybe not that much, I'll scrape it off. Just going to put that in there, and I'm purposely not going to mix it well. Okay, it looks mixed to me. I'm going to scrape it down just so it does have some unmixed black resin in there. And I'm going to pour it. It looks mixed, but we're going to see. I'm going to pour it into this little ice cream. It doesn't matter if it's not completely full, because this is a throwaway piece just to show you what happens if you don't mix your resin properly. Well, the resin's properly mixed, but the pigment isn't. So we're just going to leave that like that. Throw out the cup. Wipe this stick because I don't want that into the bigger part. And I'll just leave that over there. It'll set up in a couple of days, or tomorrow, tonight, even if I'm up still. That away there. Always keep your sharp things out of the way of the little ones. Now, because I'm mixing resin in here, I'm not going to put that stick into my resin. There's unset resin here. You get that in there and you'll start to find hard lumps when it sets. So I'm going to wipe that off. Then I'm going to take some, and this is highly pigmented, so we don't really need much. That's probably way too much for that, but that will do us. Now I'm going to mix it for another 3 minutes. So I'll put that timer on. That should ensure that that will mix completely in. And again, scrape it off your stick, because if you forget to do that and then you do that and then you pour without mixing it again, that's when you'll have unmixed resin. Or if you overburden the resin with too much pigment paste or too much mica, but especially the pigment paste, it will sink to the bottom and stay uncured. So I'm mixing that, taking it off the stick, scraping it down. Now, if this was the only resin that I was going to use here, if I wasn't trying to show you what it would look like with unmixed pigment paste, I'd have probably put the pigment paste in before I mix the resin. Therefore, I'm mixing the pigment paste in at the same time as I'm combining part A and part B. It just saves a little bit of time, but it's no hassle. Good. Now with this, I'm going to take my glove off for a minute because I want to show you how to do this. I just took the painter's tape and I folded it. I'll take this one off as well. I folded it just over the edge, just like that, all the way along. Then I stuck it to this point where the edge is folded. So all of this is stuck to my coaster, and the bit that's been folded over is the bit that's sticking up. So it is a nice firm, hopefully, firm dam for around the edge, but because this part is not sticky, it'll peel away from the resin when you want to take it off. That's how you do it. You can do that when you're using it with art as well. So I'll put this back on. Give this another little stir. Bring this back in under here. You should be able to see that. That's sticking there. So make sure that that's level. Scrape all sides. Scrape it down. Scrape it around. that should be mixed. Wipe your stick, keep it clean, otherwise you have resin everywhere. Pinch it and pour. Now pour slowly and let it self-level. You don't need it very thick, it's just a back coat. You can take one of these little pointers, you can take one of these, you could even take, do I have them here? A stylus of some description. I did have some, I don't know where they've gone. But anything pointed, you could even take a little silicone thing. Now you can see it looks like this is not level because it's going that way. So I'm going to get a piece of cardboard and put that under this side of my container. It should be level, but sometimes because I have added stuff underneath, it's probably not going to be as level as it could be. I just want to make sure that's, is it still flowing? Nope, that's good. It looks like it's stopped. Let's see what happens if I add more here. Is it going to still flow down that way? No, that's good. So I'm going to take this and just spread it over to the edge. If there's enough to cover, it won't pull back from the edge. If there's not, it will pull back from the edge. Now I'm hoping that this will just go to the edge and not over. Let's do it just like this. I think it might need a little bit more. Okay, we'll just put a little bit more in there. Now I can see it's moving very slowly this way. So I'm going to move this like that. I can see the little micro bubbles here, and they're sort of flowing ever so slowly away from this edge towards here. So another piece of paper. And here as well. I think you've got your table level, but then in this case it's not the table so much as the work I've done underneath. Just take that to the edge. Take it this way. I mean, you could have done this before doing the other side, probably would have been the better way to do it. But I just wanted to show you how to fix the right side without having to throw the piece out. And as I said, Leah Deer Designs does this. She is brilliant. I just can't, I think her name's Lydia, but I'm not sure. Lovely lady, and does some absolutely beautiful work, but that's her channel, Leah Deer Designs. And I've learnt some things from her. There's some wonderful artists on YouTube that I've learnt so much from. So I'm going to give that, hopefully it won't break the dam, I'm going to give that a spritz. I could come back later and find the black is all over the table, but it's a chance. Now, this is glitter. If it was mica powder, I wouldn't be spritzing these, but it's glitter. So I'm going to spritz those. And I'm pouring just the littlest bit into each one. Hopefully, don't want to knock that. I can see it dripping. Okay, that is dripping down the side, which means that's not sticking there. Let's bring that back here a bit. Just want this, yep, and there it is. And this is the issue, because this has, it doesn't have flat sides. It has these very pretty sides. Now, and there's not much to stick this to. So, do I take one of those out? Take that out and put that back in. Just to see. There. It's coming in under there. Let's see how that goes. I'll pour these over here because I'm a right-hander. Just gently, 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 gently with this, just to make sure the bubbles are out. Yep, this is good. And you can see that it's dripping down, and I can see underneath it's not. Yeah. The other way you can do this, if you don't want to go to all this trouble, is just spray the back with black paint. For a while. It'll start to set up in an hour or so. You can see here you can still see the pattern underneath. So that's quite thin because it's running down here because this hasn't stuck. And this is almost to overflowing. This is not leaking, so it has stuck quite well. It's just here, and it's interesting because this is where the join is. So it could be the end of the tape. I probably should have gone around way past. I stuck an extra little bit there, obviously not enough. I might wait until this starts to set up a bit and then move this across, just so that it doesn't flip-flop down there. Yeah, I'd say that that joint just hasn't been strong enough. But we'll see. All right, this one. I'd give it a little bit more. Whoops. A little bit more. I can see it going again. I suggest when you're doing such small molds as this turtles, don't have it in such a big cup. Transfer it to a smaller cup. It's easier to control. This one's overfilled. So just if you overfill it, just lay the paper, the towel on top like that and pull it straight up. It'll take every bit of extra out. And then just bring it back into the mold. Like that. Around the edge, like that. That looks good, that looks good. And this one is still leaking. Just that one spot. A nuisance. All I need to do is stop it leaking because I'm not selling this piece. It's just to show you how you can fix up pieces you're not happy with. So do that. Now, I have quite a bit left. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Wipe my hands first. What have I got? Don't know if there's enough for that one. I might pour another little heart. There should be enough for that. And I'll put some sparkle dust in it. So I'm going to spray it. Run my finger right around so that I'm not getting any bubbles in there. Add some sparkle dust. What will I add? Let me see. Oh, fairy green light. That might be. Oh no, that won't show up in that. I need an actual sparkle. Yeah, I've got it over here. Where is it now? Sparkle. Oh, there it is. I'll put in the Diamond Magic Dust, which I bought in smaller lots and just put into one of my bigger containers. Start with just a small amount. You can see that in there. Might just put a little bit more in. I'll use the spoon so it's clean. You do not need a lot of this. and that resin is already starting to thicken up. You only get about a 40-minute work time with it, which is good because on an instance like this, you don't want to have to be waiting hours and hours and hours to start to thicken. So that is giving you that beautiful sparkle. That should be enough, hopefully, to fill this. And I'll pour that. Ooh, that's a little bit interesting. What I'm going to do is run this around the edge just to make sure there are no bubbles down there. Wipe that off and pour the rest of that. Put the lid on that. You can see through these thinner moulds to see if there are bubbles. Can't see any there. I'll top this up. Just bump it like that to see, help the bubbles come up to the top. Can't really see any bubbles. The good thing about this glitter dust though, is if there are any bubbles, you won't really see them because it tends to cover it. Let's wipe my stick off. Checking this. Now you can see it's starting to pool this way. So I might need another piece of paper, putting it this side. Just there like that. Just shoot it back that way a little bit. Can't see any bubbles there. I hope you can't see any. And I'm going to top that up. There. Like that. Because this has got a little rim, I can see there are no bubbles, but it's always a good idea just to run a tool very gently around the end to tease out any bubbles that might be there. So I now have still, I made up 107 grams all up. And I've still got plenty, so what else can I do? I might do some black bows. Just really squeeze this. Put those over here, put this here, and pour some black bows. Ever so carefully, because you don't want to be trimming these. So just start off with a little bit and let it spread. Just a little bit more here. A little bit more here. I'll show you the difference. I'll get one of these. I'll pour this into here and I'll show you how much easier it is. Now I'll create a smaller spout, and there's much more control here. It's much easier to control that. Just like that. This one here is probably a little too full, so you can take some of that out of there just by doing that. Just wipe that around there. This one could do with a little bit more. You could do that one of two ways. You can pour it, or you can get a little bit on your stick where you can control it even more and just drop it in. A bit more than that, obviously. Like that. A little bit here. There we go, there. A little bit here. A little bit in this one. Maybe a little bit here, just to fill it a little bit more. That should be all right. Now, just wipe around here so that it's clean. Be careful not to bump the table, it's making it drip a bit more. So that can set. And I'm thinking that, how much have I got left? Let me have a look. I might do this pretty butterfly. I'll spray into that. Pour it slowly so that it's, because there's lots of little flowers embedded into this butterfly. You don't want any bubbles trapped in the petals, and it's a bit thicker, you can't really see if there's any, you don't want to do that either, jeez. You don't want to see any bubbles caught in those petals. See if I can do resin, anyone can do it. Here. Get the stick, just give it a gentle prod. Gentle, you don't want to break the petals off in your mould. Okay. And that's good. Like that. No, like that there. Now let that settle out a bit more. Have I got enough for the flower? Let's give it a go. Put that away. Clean the mess. Clean the mess. That. Get rid of that. Just cleaning my stick so that I don't put my elbow into it. I think we'll do the rose. Hopefully there'll be enough. just gently, because those petals are quite fragile. And again, gently and from high up. Not too high, but just enough to break the bubbles as they go down. And this one is a pendant, which is why that has that little hole. It has that little thing there to make the hole. Just let that settle. Maybe run this around the very edge here, because that's where that bubbles like to get trapped. Can't see any, but doesn't mean they're not there. But as I said, with the magic glitter dust in there, or whatever it's called, magic diamond dust, it does hide them, hide those micro bubbles a little bit. Do these need any more? This is slowed down a bit, but you can see how you can see the other side of that. But as I said, it's just one that's going to stay here, unless of course my grandchildren claim it, which is a possibility. Just want one drop here. And you can see how it's really thickening up now. I have enough, I think, for, don't want to do that, I've done that. I might actually pour another ice cream just to show you the difference with the set mica, resin, pigment paste. I'll do a different shape so we know that the cone was the one that purposely did not have the pigment paste mixed in properly, and the paddle pop stick one did. Sorry, my arm's in the way, but I've got wet resin everywhere. We just put that down there. Okay, that's that. That can be thrown out. That can be wiped. And hopefully this won't run too much more. Hopefully it's going to start setting up soon. I'm not spraying it now with alcohol, because that will break the surface tension and will cause it to run again. These I might, but not this one. I'll just clean my hands. It really is slowing down the dripping, which is getting good. It means it's getting thicker. Clean my hands. I'll just use the baby wipes, simple baby wipes. Buy them by the box. And if you're new to my channel, I just use, at this point, I'm just using baking paper, which is so easy to keep clean. And then if it starts to stain like this one, I will lay new sheets down for the next video. I have just bought like a Teflon roll, that apparently they're very good, so I'm going to try that as well. But right now this seems to be working. Wipe everything off, put it away, give that is, I'm not going, because this is a test, I'm not going to spray it. I'll spray this one. I'll spray the butterflies, I'll spray the heart, the little tortoises, butterfly, and the hibiscus, which I call a rose or whatever other name I can think of, because I'm not a gardener. And just put that there, and I'll just take that off there. And see how it's really slowly dripping down. If I bring this up any more to push that way, this is definitely not level, simply because of the surface underneath is not level. All right, that's just going to make that. Yeah, just leave it. Yeah. I wonder if I do that. Bear with me, guys, please. No, they're too wide. You can see that is on quite a slope, and yet it's still running that way because of the surface underneath. Let's see how that goes. I really don't want to leave it just yet. I could come out and find it everywhere. What I'm looking at is the black here that I can see. It doesn't seem to be moving now. Because if you have a look here, there's basically no resin there. The resin starts here, and that's quite thin, whereas that is quite deep. You can see the difference there to none there. So if I move this across now, it's just going to, it is, you can see, much thicker. Maybe move that across a little bit now, not taking it right to the edge. Let's see when it starts to flow off. If I just take it to the very edge, not over. Doesn't seem to be moving. Bring some from this side. Oops. Some from this side to the very edge. There. Like that. I don't know why I'm whispering. Maybe if I whisper it won't run over. Just to the edge, not down to the paper, just to the edge there. It will cover it enough so it won't be too obvious that it flowed back. Let's see how that goes. At this point it's not dripping under here, which is good. But that's not to say it won't. A little bit there. Okay, I'll have to leave that. I'll try to remember to come back out and check that. And I will see you for the demold. Bye. Okay, the next step to finishing this is to put a top coat. So what I did was, because the edge of this particular mold was faceted, even though I taped it up, which normally would work, on this one it didn't work, and the black seeped down from the back and made a bit of a mess on the edges. So I Dremeled the edge and it's left it looking like this. And that's okay, because this is not going anywhere. This is just me showing you how to fix something that you're not happy with. So yes, it's black under here, and that's all completely set. Now I've taped up completely across the back and trimmed it up so that it's right to the edge, because what I want to do is put clear on top of this, and I want it to drip over to the side. There are two ways that you could do this. You can tape this up underneath, or you can use liquid rubber to paint on all the way around here, so that when the drip's set on the back, it's easy to remove. This is the first time I've used the taping method like this. Normally I put liquid rubber around, and I find that's quite good to get off, but we're trying this way today. So I'm putting that, just sitting that on here. It has set enough now, it's been a few days, for this not to leave a ring where I've done the resin on the back. I have mixed up, 72 grams of the 360 plus for the platinum, and because it's a bit of a thicker resin, and so that would be 22 grams of B and 50 grams of A. It's a 2-to-1 resin. What I'm going to do, I can't clean this because it's paper and glitter and so forth, but normally if it's been sitting around for a while before you put more resin on it, you would either sand it lightly and then wipe it off, or you would clean it with alcohol. But I'm just going to pour it a little bit. Hopefully it will level to the edges and just gently run off. Now this should be a level surface. Having said that though, it may not be. Oh, we'll see. Now I've got it on this pink silicone mat on top of a hard metal tray, because I want to move that in a minute so I can do some more resining. If there's not enough resin, it will pull away from the edge. And take it to the edge. And you may notice that I did have this gold edging along this part of each of the paper washi tapes. I took them off, I didn't like it. You just take it. Now, you don't want it just to go running over the edge, because it'll keep running. So you've got to babysit this for a while. It may have been better if I had let it thicken up, but I've been waiting most of the day for the phone to charge up, and so I could do some resin work. So that's to the edge there, and it's starting to go over. So you can just pick this up here and feed it back up here if you want, but I want this to go around the edge. I'm just going to take this and run around the edge like this. And here comes the rain. Now, because I've broken the surface edge, it will continue to drip down, and that's why we tape underneath. that should be okay. Now I'll just wipe off my gloves. Now that looks like it may have pulled away from the edge there, so I will pick some of this up here and just put it over the edge here. Like that. Because you want it to be smooth, you don't want it to be feeling rough because of the glitter. Just check, and now you can just run your stick around the edge like that and put it back up the top. If you do that on a regular basis, you won't have so much cleaning up later. As it runs down, you want to make sure that it's not running so much off the top that it's leaving it uncovered. Let me have a look. That's looking pretty good. Now, the clear resin picks up the colours in the washi tape a little bit better. They weren't very bright colours, they were subtle, but that brings out the colours, and it brings out the colours of the glitter as well. I'm not going to keep cleaning up what's on the silicone mat. It'll be easy enough to peel off when it's dry. This is just going to need to be babysat for a little bit. I don't want to just put it over there yet. It will slow down. The dripping over the edge will slow down. You don't have to take it over the edge. If you just go like this, take it to the edge, it should stop at the edge, but I did want it over the edge to make the edges look a little bit better than they were, because I had to Dremel them. Now, I'll just get a lot of this up here. This is good resin to reuse. Just make sure you're not dragging up any dirt from the silicone mat. These are great little scrapers. I think it was Michelle from Glitz and Glitter first showed them. She'd had them sent to her. I found them on Temu. So you can get them from Temu or Amazon. Oh, the link will be in the everyday part of the links on my channel. Now the other thing I wanted to show you was, where is it? This was one where I thought I had not mixed the black in enough, and so therefore it shouldn't have set. It did set, so I must have mixed it as well enough, except for this last little bit on the back. That's not quite set, but I'm not happy with the way that that's been an example to show you what not to do. So I'm going to take a little bit more, just in one of these. I'm going to put a little bit more resin in, dry that so it's not water, because water and resin don't mix. I'm going to pour a little bit more resin in here, just enough to fill another one of these ice cream shapes. And I'm purposely not going to mix it properly. So I'm just taking about that much because I don't want to waste this. This is just an experiment. Let's get this here. Clean my gloves because they were sticky from that. Dry them off. Dry this. A little bit here. Probably going to be too much, way too much resin for this, but that's okay because I want to show you when it's not mixed properly. So I'm going to mix it. I'm going to mix it here. And then I'm going to scrape it. So there's going to be definitely a splodge in there that's not mixed properly. And then I'm going to pour it into one of these. Now it looks like it might be mixed. Well, I can see it's nowhere near mixed because there's lumps of resin, pigment paste, but that's what I want. So we're going to let that set, and then when I'm finishing off this video, hopefully this one won't be set, and I can show you what happens when you don't mix your pigment paste properly, because it will ruin pieces. I think it's only happened to me once, and at the time I did not understand what I'd done wrong. I do now. That's why I'm showing you guys what happens so that you don't make the same mistake I did and not understand why. So what we're going to do, and now I have to get all this off here because it really is unmixed pigment paste, is I am going to stop the video, babysit this for a little while, and then when that's finished, I'll come back, finish this video off and show you all the other things that I made and finished up. I don't want to be too segmented with this video. So I'll stop this now, babysit this one, and come back to you. Okay, catch you soon. Okay, this is the last part of this saving something you don't like video. So I've let that set up. It's quite hard now. Take that away. This is easy to take off. It's all silicone, that's why I put it there. You can just peel that off, throw it in the bin. So I'm not worried about that. Turning this over, it's left a nice shiny edge to it, whereas before when I Dremeled it, it was all dusty and horrible. This is going to be interesting. As I said, I usually do liquid rubber all around this. I've not used this method before, so we'll see together. I'll just get my scalpel. We'll see together how easily this comes off with the tape. Oh no, okay. Just pulls off. And the resin is sticking to the tape. So if you take it slowly, you might have to just take your scalpel and ease it up like that. Okay. And then here, pull that off. That bit of stickiness there can come off with alcohol, I would think. This way. Just be careful when you're using your scalpel not to scratch the back. Okay. Hopefully that should come off. It is just sticky stuff. Now that may not be sticky stuff, that may be, hang on, that may be a mark in the resin. No, that may be a mark in the resin because the resin on the back wasn't quite set enough to put the tape on. But that's not an issue, simply because, I'll just grab a piece of paper here. This I'm not going to worry about because this is just showing you how to fix this side. But if that's concerning you and you want to do something with it or sell it, you just give it another top coat and that'll cover all these things here. But I'd say that that is the tape, the sticky stuff. That's why I like using the liquid rubber. Where is my liquid rubber? Yeah, I use just the liquid latex. It stinks. I get it from the same people I buy the resin from. But it works really well and it doesn't leave this residue. However, having said that, we've saved a coaster, if that's what you want to use it for, with a bloom that I wasn't happy with, and now it looks much, much better. So that's how you save a piece. There's many other ways as well, but that's just one. And Leah Designs, I think her name's Nadia, she does all of this sort of work. She's a lovely lady and her channel is Leah Designs. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you liked any of the content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. That'd be great. Have a great day. Bye.